Hey everyone, Metazoa with Arena Watch back again. I mainly focus on the arena, and this time we have our newest segment, Tactical Arena Reviews. We'll be focusing almost entirely on arena and arena viability here, so expect these rankings and reviews to be different from the typical tier lists, which are an amalgamation of PvE and arena viability. This is our second episode, The Bruiser, the Witch, and the War Machine, and I'll cover the arena viability of our farmable free units for Dragon Quest XI. First up, we have the free hero S unit of Dragon Quest XI, Jade. She's going to be the main focus of this video. Jade is in a very unique spot as she brings Whoosh and Zap to the forefront as a physical unit. We'll assume here that she'll be 5 awake since she is a free-to-play unit, and those stats are fantastic. She's nice and fast, she has a good base attack, and quite a bit of HP as well. Much like Yangus, she'll do quite nicely to fill in Bruiser roles in a party, though her range is a bit lacking at a realistic 4 to 5 effectively. The base perk for Jade is plus 1 stage of attack and agility when her HP falls below 50%. This is an alright base perk, as in arena we typically want this to pair with some kind of heal to be self-sufficient and allow us to soak more hits. That's a lot to ask for on a free-to-play unit though, and the agility boost is still nice. Only ever try to utilize this if you can unlock 110% of your brain power though, and are very aware of the HP and damage thresholds she can withstand from breath and martial attacks only. Last thing you want to do is end up going -8 because you thought you had the biggest brain and it ended up backfiring on you. Frizz and Zam weakness hurt this unit a lot. This means most of the Dark Lords can hit her for brilliant damage, but as a Whoosh and Zap user, thankfully her main targets weren't going to be those Frizz and Zam Dark Lords anyway. Crack and Bang resistance are nice, because at heavy resistance, they allow her to close the gap against common Trouble Bloom units like Great Dragon, Squidzilla, and Archdemon, while hitting for brilliant damage against them. Jade is, however, weak to paralysis. This is one of our big 5 of statuses. Be careful when you're utilizing her, as Burning Breath is a very popular scroll to put on units like Dulmagus. Her first ability, this is a solid zap ping that technically allows her to hit at range 6. It's better than not hitting anything, and doing something like pinging a Squidzilla can help to keep your units safe. Her second ability, Thunderous Spinning Wheel, is a standard wheel attack with zap element, but it is exceptional in that AoE zap is now on the menu. This is something to lash out with on turn 2 when you can move into position to hit 2 or more targets, preferably targets that are weak to zap. Jade's third ability, Pink Typhoon, hits for slightly less than Thunder Wheel, technically, but her innate leveling and awake bonuses more than make up for that. This is a solid amount of damage with a base 20%, 40% against most dragons, chance to lock an enemy with Charm. This is effectively confusion, but they can sometimes also use an ability against their allies. Currently, this is not in the Big 5, this would change it to Big 6, because this is unavailable to access reliably at a 100% chance. This move is also a 3 cleave on a 2 range, which is nice, and Whoosh is fairly underrepresented right now, making it all the more effective. And finally we have the Coup, Pink Tornado. This is a 3x3 that does a ton of Whoosh damage. It is only available on turn 3 though, which makes it a difficult sell for arena. You can use this to close out multiple enemies in a Voltron comp. Technically, it would be very slow, very unreliable, and you would likely lose a unit, but you could do that. On to the Awakenings. At Awakening 1, we have a move +1. It's essential, and as a free-to-play unit, we'll assume max Awakenings regardless, so this has already been factored into everything we've been talking about. Awakening 3, it's HP plus 50. That's boring, but nice. It helps to amp up the Bruiser archetype here. Now we have Awakening 5, Sexy Body. This is a 20% chance to charm when hit by physical or martial? Wow, this isn't the greatest thing ever for offense, but can be quite a pain when running blitz comps against her. Try and bring a Frizz or Zam caster, like Dragonlord, or a Frizz Breath unit to deal with her as much as possible. It's like Dragonlord's true form. That way you don't have to risk these charm chances. Jade fits rather nicely into Blitz, and technically you could put her into Voltron comps. Use her to try and ping or rush down a unit on weeks where the gap is smaller, or hold her back and get that attack to 3 to show them what she can really do. Jade is another unit who wants to use her own equipment, in this case claws. Depending on your rolls, you may also want to use something like the Papnica knife, rolled for potency or brilliance, or Flail of Destruction instead. For armor, she'll do well with either more agility to ensure you outspeed your opponent, or some extra HP if you're fast enough and want to just give yourself some extra padding. Realistically, there will be no avoiding Jade. It's not happening. One might say the era of Great Dragon is over, as we'll need to use some high firepower Frizz and Zam to take her out before a devastating charm reversal costs us points. Funnily enough, you can also use the Halloween Dora-in-Grey to hit her for high Zam martial damage without worrying about getting charmed. Good news for those of you that pulled on her and want to keep using a martial blitz comp. Overall, Jade is an amazing free-to-play Bruiser unit, but suffers from a lack of range to fully utilize her kit on turn 1. If and or when she does close the distance, she can be exceptional so long as she doesn't get nuked down first. For arena offense, she doesn't have a whole lot going for her outside of straight damage though. This will make a nice consistent supplement to Voltron teams looking for a versatile whoosh/zap unit to invest in, or some blitz teams that can afford to lose a little bit of range. Alright, we covered the Bruiser, now we have the Witch and the War Machine. Our special mentions for the other two free units, Dora-in-Grey and Krystalinda, are also worthy of max awakening. These aren't going to be in-depth powerhouses though, so I'll keep them quick. Dora-in-Grey is our part 1 farmable. She has an A rank Bang Martial. It's a 150 base. It's decent at best. Ever since we got blooms, usually those bases for A ranks have been getting higher, more towards the 200 base range, but this is still acceptable. She does also have a physical and or spell lock ability that can go up to a base 75% chance for each. All in all, this unit isn't really arena viable due to her low range and the fact that physical and spell lock generally aren't very good statuses to try to lock, as they still allow movement, passives, access to other abilities, and auto attacks that can still crit, on top of usually being unable to reach 100%. Usually. Regardless, this is still a good unit to farm, since it's above average for an A rank, and it's very good in a lot of PvE situations. Just don't expect her to be an arena all-star. Krystalinda, on the other hand, is our part 2 farmable. I like this unit a lot more as her kit has a scalable 50% base stun chance, crack spell with a 0.85x modifier that's just a tiny bit below something like Kazam, and it has plenty of extra potency added onto it. While she does lack the range of a more versatile unit like Claria, she can still hold back, use her self-wisdom boost, then strike for massive crack damage while locking targets that are weak to stun. As far as arena goes, Krystalinda is the priority to farm here, as she can slot in quite nicely to control comps. And that'll wrap up our episode today, The Bruiser, the Witch, and the War Machine. Thanks for watching, smash that like and subscribe, and I'll let you know when our next unit review comes out. We still have Eric, Mordegon, and our special 1.5 anniversary banner unit still to go for this event. See you next time.